We're going to look at this video. It's basically this is the fucking flintlock that we played yesterday. Well, it's dead on arrival. And I think for good reason. We try to play it.
It's had Sweet Baby Inc.'s name attached to it has been a financial or critical failure, and that doesn't seem to be changing anytime soon.
Oh,
But
fuck.
now
I did
their
not mean to do
latest
that.
release, Flintlock Siege of Dawn, is out. The critics are only giving it decent reviews, but there is basically nobody playing it. I have a few things to show off, but before I get...
Well, in fairness, we tried. Look, we'll probably still go back and complete it. I guess they can patch it out. It wasn't terrible. But, like, I'm going back to a game that's much older, probably fucking a lot worse. In terms of Wulong. Okay, probably had more money, in fairness. But still, and it just feels more fun.
Get into the topic. If you enjoy the content I create, check out the links in the description, join the community in my live streams, and consider supporting through Patreon or YouTube membership.
We will link the video down in the description below so you guys can actually have a look at it as well.
I have to talk a lot on this channel about Sweet Baby Inc. It's really the company that kind of set Gamergate to...
Why would you name your company Sweet Baby Inc. as well?
Quickly, and people are not happy with the content that they are working on and ultimately altering.
But why? No, like, I get, okay, cool, game not be great, but why would you be upset because about it?
But now, their latest release, Flintlock Siege of Dawn, has finally come out, and boy, is it already looking like a disaster. Now, first off the bat...
Well, it didn't fucking have graphic settings, just saying. Like, that is something that... Okay, in fairness, I was playing on the Xbox version, so I don't know if that's an Xbox version exclusive thing or that's an actual thing, but hey.
I have to say, it is a terrible idea for companies to launch on a weekday. Unless you are already a massive studio, like From Software can launch on any day of the week, right? But when you are relatively unknown or you're...
Like, is that a bad thing? So hear me out. Obviously, yes, less people are going to be able to play during the weekday. A lot of people, if they can even have time to play during the week, are going to play less times. Fair enough. 100% agree. Makes complete sense, you know? So, in terms of even what you're saying like From Software and AAA titles, they're going to sell regardless when they launch. 100% agreed. Fucking people don't care if Elden Ring launches on fucking, I don't know, New Year's Eve. People are going to stay home and play it instead of going out. 100% agree. Now, if you're a smaller studio, yes, less people are going to play it on the day it comes out, so you're going to have less figures. Because naturally, people aren't going to necessarily decide to take a day off work or decide to get home and fuck, we're going to boot up Flintlock Siege of Dawn. 100%. Fair enough. But doesn't it make sense launching a weekday because you can get in those early reviews? So if your game is good, people already know what they're probably going to be playing that weekend. Like, you have an idea of, okay, cool, I'm going to be off that day. I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to boot this game and play it on this weekend. Now, if you launch on a weekday as a smaller fucking publisher, you decide, okay, dope, we're going to launch on a Wednesday. Can't remember what day it was. The launch, I actually have no idea. I want to say it was 18th July. I could be wrong. We'll double check that. Actually, you know what? Let me just check it here. And then I'll complete Flintlock Siege of Dawn release date. It was 18th July. Fucking 18th July day. It was Thursday. So I think that's actually not a bad day to release. So the reason I say that is, like I was saying, so you've decided to release your game. It is Thursday. You release your game. People start playing it. A few people always play it. I mean, it's fucking free on Game Pass. Yes, you pay for Game Pass, blah, blah, blah. Don't give a fuck. It's still free. People are like, oh, game's fun. Game's pretty good. So you're not thinking, oh, well, fuck. Okay, cool. This game's getting good reviews. People like it. Friends are playing it. Some people say they enjoy it. I'm going to buy it and play it on the weekend. I'm going to download it. I'm going to go maybe get Game Pass. I'm going to do whatever the fuck it is. I'm going to play this game on the weekend. But to launch on the weekend and you don't have a hype around the game, doesn't really help like to launch the weekend because people already know what they're probably going to be playing that weekend. Oh, you know, I'm going to still be playing this, playing that. I've already bought a game. They're already settled in. Are you really going to just buy a random game from a small developer? I could be wrong, but I think they're a pretty small developer. I don't know what the fuck else they've made. And then think, oh, fuck, some shit games, judging by this, seeing as I got Suicide Squad and playing that game was atrocious. But I do think what I'm saying makes sense. You launch on the week. You launch on a weekday. People play the game. They see the game, and then they decide to buy it for the weekend. You can download it. You can preload it because, in fairness, not everyone has fucking great internet. Sometimes it takes you 6, 7, 8 hours. Okay, the game was on like 20 gigs. Some people have shit internet. I have reasonably fast internet for my country, but by fucking international standards, it's still atrocious. Some people need time to download it. But okay, anyway.
Your smaller studio, it is not smart to launch on a weekday, especially in the morning, and that is exactly what happened with Flintlock Siege of Dawn. Thursday morning, they said that
I don't know, I disagree with that.
best time to launch a game. So of course, going into launch weekend, I am sure that we are going to see slightly higher player numbers, but for launch, these are just terrible to go off of at this point in time.
But it's going to, it's
judging by
for all the reasons she just said, it's going to be shit on the day, even that morning. It's not going to be great unless you've taken time off work. That's fair enough. We understand that. That's dope. It's cool. It is what it is. But you intentionally do that to try to get some buzz around it because people aren't going to go out and buy the game straight up. So if there are people playing it, if there are friends playing it, if there are studios playing it, if there are people saying, oh, well, the game is good, game is fun, got good reviews, you're more likely to buy it on that weekend. So you go into the weekend with that in mind if that's what you're going to play. Not it's the weekend, what do we play?
Steam charts. So far, very bad. Players in the game right now, 600. And of course, the all-time peak was 2 hours ago at launch with 607 people online. Now, of course, there are some caveats to this because it is on Game Pass. And
I was about to say,
it probably is getting quite a bit of traction that way. But of course, we know that Game Pass really isn't all that positive for studios. We've heard several developers.
Yeah, that I don't know about.
Say, well,
I think it's positive for players.
Rely on individual sales off of Game Pass, and
that's a whole nother rabbit hole. We might have to actually watch a video on that. Is Game Pass actually successful? It gets people playing the game, fair enough. But like, how much they get paid? Because I mean, to bring like, if you look at like the Yakuza series, that's predominantly all on Game Pass, and I accept the exclusion, I think, of the 2 latest releases. Surely they pay Capcom a pretty decent fee per download or per play. Like, I've always been interested in how that structure works. Okay, but that's a whole nother can of worms. We're getting very much sidetracked now.
I'm sure that this studio is as well, but, well, it doesn't look like many people are going to really be buying this or financially supporting it. Now, of course, I typically do not trust critic reviews.
But isn't that what people expect? I do think, okay, look, this might be me living in my fucking little glass house, but do not most people already have Game Pass? I do think, yes, I understand. I'm a massive supporter of it. I think it's dope. I think if you have a PC or an Xbox, it's just stupid not to have. Yes, the price increases are coming and there's problems with that, but fuck, for now, I mean, still great value. I mean, fucking the value proposition's just there. You are likely to have it. You are likely to, I think, play it on there. It would be good to see figures on there, although I don't think they have figures of how many people are playing or downloaded on there, compared to Steam at least. But I suppose that's a whole nother can of worms.
Play things myself, give them a shot myself, and it will be interesting to see how users rate this game. But so far,
that is fair.
It's only looking decent for this. Now, a 71 is not awful by any means, but we are talking about critics who do generally support the messaging and ultimately the ideology that is shoved into products like this. So you would think that, of course,
what is that supposed to mean, the ideology? Like, oh, it's Souls-like. They tend to rate Souls-like higher and better, so they like the games more. Even though I don't even know if you can really call it Souls-like. I still haven't played Dark Souls, so I feel like that's might be on us.
Going to look past all of the technical issues and any story issues.
Oh yeah, the story made fuck all sense, I'm just saying. Okay, it made some sense, but it was a bit all over the show.
Right, in order to promote a game that supports their ideology, but ultimately even their...
What ideology, though? Like, I get, okay, cool, dope. Everyone has their own agendas. Everyone would prefer certain things. Everyone prefers certain games or certain styles. Fair enough. Give me fucking Star Wars and I'll love it. You can give me a piece of shit game, but put a fucking lightsaber and blasters and stormtroopers and I will fucking play the shit out of it and rave about it. But, like, what ideology is she actually getting at is what I'm trying to figure out here. Is it the whole Souls-like thing?
Are saying it's not perfect. It
No,
does
but in
things
fairness,
well
no
like
game's
the
perfect.
open world, and it is a fun experience that blends action and the Souls-like genre together, but it's still got issues. Now, of course, I don't necessarily think that, again, the critics are to be trusted.
Siege of Dawn reviews 4.5, 3.5, 3.58, 7.57, 7, 7, 7, 7, 6, 6, 6, 60. Metacritic of 70. I mean, that's not a bad score. In fairness, look, we did play it. We didn't really enjoy it. I will probably just go back and finish up. It's supposed to be a shorter game, and I'd like to maybe finish up the playlist on YouTube, but still. We'll see if we get there, because we still got so much other fucking shit we have to finish. We've started like an idiot. But I mean, this... I think a big issue as well that we forget about game reviews is no one wants to give a bad review. I think a big thing as well is, as a journalist, as a company reviewing games, you don't want to give bad reviews because you still want to receive the games. If you're feeling forced to give bad reviews, you're less likely to be given a review copy of the game. You want to be able to get that review out of a game that possibly has a drama around it, possibly on game, well, not possibly, is on Game Pass. You know, a lot of people will be looking at reviews of it, trying to see what it's about, trying to see what it's going to get. So you want to be able to get those review copies. You need those clicks in. You need to have people reading or watching your videos. It is what it is. It's common sense. So I feel like as well, a 5 isn't really a 5. Like a middle of the road, bang average game, because you don't want to give someone a low score because you still want that ability to review, you'll tend to push it a bit higher. So like equivalent of a basic bitch game of like a score out of 50 out of 100, 5 out of 10 will probably be more around a 6. I do think that tends to be what happens with reviews because you don't want to really piss people off. As much as, yes, you have your integrity, you have everything, your wording and phrasing is a lot more than what your score is worth, if that makes sense. I don't know.
But it is interesting seeing them giving the game these scores. And of course, when it comes to
Also, just pointing out, no one gave it above a 7. So it's not like it was reviewed well either. Like, I feel like if you see a game getting 8 and higher, you think it reviewed well. I think if it's 7, you're like, it's pretty bang average. I don't think anyone looks at a 7 and being like, fuck, that must be a great game. I think it serves a certain clientele or certain target audience maybe quite well. But I don't think anyone looks at a 7 and is like, that's a good game.
Baby Inc., we know their focus is injecting DEI ideology into the product that they're hiring.
What the fuck is DEI ideology? I don't even know what that means. DEI ideology. Diversity, equity, and inclusion. Huh? How are they putting in DEI ideology? I don't understand. Is it because the main character's a female and a person of color? Is that what we're going with?
To work on, but everything they're involved with just sucks. They've got bad scripts, character designs, gameplay. I mean, you name it, and it's got a problem. I have not.
Okay, fair enough. Game good, game not good. Cool, dope, sweet. What the fuck does it have to do with DER though? Or like a shit story wouldn't have been any better if it was a Gar character. And also, do you not want to play as a female?
Seen a single game with Sweet Baby Inc.'s name attached to it that across the board was fantastic. I think the closest game we really got was God of War Ragnarok, but even that faced a lot of criticism because they did ultimately decide to race swap characters, and the story was much slower paced than the first game in the, of course,
Okay, I don't have a PlayStation 5. I don't have a, well, at PS4, whatever the fuck. But didn't everyone love God of War? And also, who got race swapped in God of War? God of War. Ragnarok. Metacritic. Game got 94 on 100, 94 out of 100 based off of, oh fuck, there's playing a video in the background. 94 out of 100 based off of, this is Metacritic, based on 150 critic reviews, and 8.1 from 11,790 users. How is a game not good? And controversy and issues and then race swapped. Who the fuck cares? If the game is fun, no one cares. It's a game. It's made up. Like, okay.
We assume it's going to be trilogy. We haven't really gotten any news on what's coming after Ragnarok, but regardless, that's the closest we've gotten to a really good game, and even that was not perfect. I mean, is Sweet Baby Inc. the company
closest to a perfect game? It fucking scored phenomenally well by all users. Okay, this is, never played it, fair enough, never played really any of the God of Wars, but it scored phenomenally well. How can it be close to a great game? Pretty sure getting an 8.1 on Metacritic is fucking phenomenal.
You call when your game sucks so much that you are desperate to find any audience, so you allow them to reskin it and add cringe dialogue or backstory.
Yeah, fair enough. If the dialogue is shit and the story is shit, then that's a completely different story.
Stories in hopes modern audiences will show up. Newsflash, they don't, because they don't exist. And we are seeing game after game after game release that doesn't have a real audience that they're targeting. Again, modern audiences do not exist. Closest group of people to that are sensitive snowflakes on social media.
But I'm so confused. There's no rant about the fact that they have female and like characters of different races that she's going into, and that's why the game sucks. The game sucked because the gameplay wasn't fun.
And they are not showing up to support products like this. I mean, look at Suicide Squad Killed the Justice League. It had everything. It had feminism. It had, of course, race.
Wasn't that just a shit game that had nothing to do with race, feminism, equality, diversity, fucking anything? Wasn't the game just shit? Like, at what point is the fact that it doesn't matter what race, ethnicity, fucking gender the people are? If the game's not fun, the game's not fun. If the game's fun, the game's fun. Like, I don't get... Okay.
Swaps. It had very, very questionable character designs. I mean, that should have been a haven for these individuals, but womp, womp, womp. On Steam, it only peaked at 13,000
Because the game was bad.
All they could muster up on this platform. It is absolutely pathetic. Now, of course, when it comes to Flintlock Siege of Dawn, we have seen a plethora of problems because the trailers...
In all seriousness, to launch a game on a Thursday morning is a major mistake unless you're a major studio. Trailers released to negative reaction. The senior operation and growth manager melted down, then left social media. The developer reached out at... Fuck. A name that I'm not sure where... Something Rambo. To clarify, no SBR content made it into the game. What the fuck is SBR content? Only State Bank of India is SBR. Fuck, I don't know. And Google's apparently failing me.
Negative reaction. The senior operations and growth manager melted down.
Oh, Sweet Baby Inc.
over backlash and left social media. And then there were developers that actually reached out to Cabrutus, who started the Sweet Baby Ink Detected, or now it's called DEI Detected, Steam curator page and website. And they wanted to clarify that no Sweet Baby Ink content made it into the final game. But then he simply asked for proof and they never offered it. And now it's launched to, again, decent reviews by critics, yet
What?
basically nobody is playing it. Now, I did decide to make an X thread on this, and people are already laughing at them, talking about how pathetic this is.
I was an X thread. I was so confused what you're saying. I was like, what the fuck is an X thread? And then I forget that X is Twitter, and that's a thing now.
Based on the graph, the future for Flintlock Siege of Dawn looks incredibly bright as long as it keeps crawling upwards at this astonishingly glacial pace. This really starts to tell you that the people that we are against don't even care about their side. It's all about money and shilling. They have shown their hand as, and
Who are we against is what I'm confused about still.
nothing is beyond being
Maybe on the side that's just against having shit games,
played.
but also on the side that has hot characters, I support those games.
They do not care. I wish we could see the Game Pass numbers. I want to see them too. Obviously, we won't unless they hit major milestones and they talk about it on their social media, but that typically does not happen. And I don't expect it to happen here because I don't think the player numbers are going to be much higher. There really wasn't a lot of hype surrounding this game leading up to release. And even now, there's no one really positively talking about it, saying that, oh my god, so far the footage I've seen looks amazing. That's just not happening. People are saying good for them doubling the players of Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. That's big for them. Yeah, I mean, there's basically nobody playing that game either. I've never heard of this game. I didn't even know it was out. Yeah, so it will be interesting to see over.
Well, in fairness, I don't think many people knew about the game until fucking Xbox press release.
For the next few days for kind of release a weekend, how the numbers end up going for them. Maybe it will skyrocket in players. I just highly doubt it, and this looks to be the next massive Sweet Baby Ink failure. Will anybody from this team take to social media and melt down and call us all ists and phobes for not supporting this game that has a strong, independent woman of color as the lead?
Is that an actual... Sorry, chat, my phone was busy. Is that actually an issue? Like, is anyone's problem with the game the fact that it's a female character of color? Like, is that even... How is that... Why is that relevant? That's what I don't understand. If they put a guy as the character, it doesn't change the fucking game.
Probably, I'm sure that we are going to see some individuals coming out and calling us ists and phobes, maybe even the media trying to defend this game. Only time will tell, but for now, that's all that I really had to discuss in this video. Let everyone know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this, give it a like, and if you didn't, give it a dislike. I appreciate your support either way, but I will talk to you all again in the next video really soon. Nearly every...
I'm so confused by that. So basically, this was just a rant about why we have a female character of color in a game, and that's why the game is shit. And people should... The developer's intent was if you have a female character of color, people will support the game more? I don't understand the logic behind that, or the issue she has with that is if the game isn't fun, which... We actually played the game for a good couple of hours. I want to say we at least played for 3-4 hours. I could be completely wrong. We might have played it for 2. But I didn't even that. What the fuck did the main characters have to do with it? The story was a bit weird. And we found Ori. And Ori is the gardener that we carry around with us. So that's cool. That's dope. That's fun. But the game just wasn't that great. And I don't think it's a case of, oh, our game sucks. We made a female black character. Nah, our game's going to be great. I don't think that was the intention in any part of the story. Or any, I don't really see that being an intentional thing of, ooh, Fucking guys, game's a bit shit. Okay, dope. Throw in a female main character. We'll fix it. We'll get a certain portion of people to support the game. Like, no one gives a fuck about that. Like, it blows my mind. I don't understand. How is it about fucking color and race? If anything, I actually think the main character design was actually pretty cool. If anything, actually. I don't know. I don't know. Like, I don't get it. Like, let me know what you guys think in the comments down below if you think I'm just completely batshit crazy insane, or not. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. Yeah, fuck, I don't know.